Hi, this is Thomas Oldroyd, Senior Director of Marketing with InsideSales.com. Up next, we have a speaker you definitely won't want to miss. Jeff Molander has been in the social selling and technology arena for decades. He was the co-founder and vice president of sales and marketing at Performix, a company that was acquired by DoubleClick, which was later acquired by Google. And he is a social selling expert. You can tell that by the over 12 publications listed on his LinkedIn profile, as well as his self-proclaimed process that gets response, leads, and appointments faster. Definitely one to look for, including this very glowing recommendation on there. I sent Jeff's follow-up InMail template to 59 prospects and got 22 responses. As a result, I'm talking with 8 potential buyers. That's a glowing recommendation, and we recommend Jeff as well. Take it away, Jeff.
Well, hello there, Jeff Molander here, and the next 14 minutes or so will be packed with information that you have probably not heard before. Okay? I'm going to show you exactly why most sellers are not getting the response to email and LinkedIn InMail messages that they need, and exactly what to do about it. I'm literally going to dissect, diagnose, and improve an ineffective email message right before your eyes. Now, this is an actual real-life example that you will relate to, I'm sure, and I'm going to show you visually what kills most prospecting emails, why they don't get the response that they deserve. Then I'm going to show you how to rewrite your messages to make sure you get better response yourself. And remember, everything that I show you today is applicable to plain old email messages and LinkedIn InMail messages as well. Also, the template that I share and the success principles apply to product or service-based selling. And by the way, you might be wondering, Molander, how do you know that what you're talking about today is going to work for me? Well, the technique that I show you today is what I use to build my business. This approach works for my clients. I'm a sales trainer and I teach this stuff for a living, okay? This isn't social media guru theory. This is the practical know-how that I'm using to build my business and my customers are using to build theirs, okay? I eat my own dog food. Okay, before I show you the first example, I need to issue you 2 warnings, please. Number 1, what I'm about to show you involves templates, but it requires you to be a little bit creative. This is not one size fits all. Now, here's what I mean. After this webinar, when you go back to your day, I want you to take the technique that I show you and apply it creatively in your setting to fit your scenario. And to make it really easy for you, I'm going to give you these templates, which are really more like formulas. This way, you cannot mess up your email messages going forward, okay? If you use these formulas, these templates, to take the next step and get a little bit creative, you will get results and you will get increasingly better results over time. I'm actually going to give you the chance to get a total of 7 more effective proven templates toward the end of this training, okay? So stick around until the very end. This is in addition to what I'm about to show you now. Now, warning number 2, I don't mean to offend you. It is possible that what I'm about to show you looks similar to the emails you're sending out, and I'm about to judge it. I'm going to be harsh with some tough love, but I don't want you to feel bad or ashamed. I've made these mistakes too, but I've learned a better way, and I'm here to share what I've learned. I'm not here to make anybody feel bad. I'm here to give you a better way to deal with a really harsh reality. This is the reality. Everyone on earth scans their inbox the same way, without exception. We want to know, hey, who's emailing me right now? Is this spam? What do they want? And how long is this going to take? But this harsh truth can be used to your advantage if you're brief and if you're blunt and if you're really basic and kind of throttle back on the goal of your first touch email. Now, here's what I mean. The goal of your first email is exactly the same as a first cold call. If you think about it, the other side immediately wants to know who's calling me, what do they want, and how long is this going to take. So our best approach is to be brief, be blunt, and basic. Your first email is not a good place to ask for a referral. It's not when you should be asking for the appointment either, or the demo. The job of your first touch email is to do one thing: earn the right to have a discussion. And that is it. That is based on the one thing. Understanding if your prospect has a pain that you can remedy or a goal that you can help put on a fast track. Once you've been invited to talk with them about their pain or their goal, well, then you're in, right? So as we continue, keep the 3 B's in mind, because what we want to get from emails, obviously it's response. Now, a response would be great for you, I'm sure, right? But what if you could get a response that gives you immediate access to what is on the customer's mind? Access to the conversation already going on in their head, right? What if you could, if your response invited another reply from you? That's what the technique I'm about to show you will do for you, because that kind of response from a prospect proves that the prospect is attracted at the idea of talking more with you. Because at that point, you're not selling. You're simply responding to their request for more details. I know it sounds impossible. It's not. After today, I'd like everything that you do with email to be brief and blunt and get back to basics, because I want you to get response and get discussions going. And this is the key. Okay, I want you to meet Cindy Mickelson. Cindy is our example. Today, she was good enough to allow me to share her case with you. Cindy runs a company called Retention Solutions. Now, Retention Solutions does two things for cable and internet providers. Number one, Cindy helps them recover equipment from customers like me who disconnect their service and they leave their cable box or their modem laying around and they're gone, right? They're off. It's a huge problem for cable and internet providers and wireless providers who are Cindy's customers, okay? Secondly, she provides services to help retain customers who are at risk of canceling their cable or their wireless or their internet service, okay? So really quickly, let's take a look at Cindy's first touch email. When I first met her, this is what she was sending out. It is by no means the worst I've ever seen, but it is pretty poor. Again, Cindy gave me permission to continue to talk about this. Now, right up here at the top, we have the subject line. Can you see that? Can we talk? Please, this is very common. Don't do this. Don't ask any kind of yes or no question, because if it's no, boom. If the answer is no in your client's head, boom, they're gone. Delete key, you're out of there. Okay, so also, can we talk? Not good. Don't ask for the option to meet with someone. It's people get these all the time, and Cindy is calling on COOs and CIOs. So these are busy people, and the answer is going to be no. No, we cannot talk, right? It has to be, subject line needs to be a little bit vague, yet a little bit familiar. And I'm going to show you the rewrite that we did on this in a moment. It's, I could spend 15, 20, 30 minutes on just subject lines alone, but we don't have that kind of time. So, good afternoon, Brad. I sent you an invitation to connect on LinkedIn on July 10. I hope my InMail is of interest to you. I want you to count the amount of times that Cindy references herself in this first sentence, actually in the first two paragraphs. I sent you an invitation to connect on LinkedIn, and I hope my InMail is of interest to you. She's already mentioned herself 3 times. My company, Retention Solutions, there she did it again. And you see that? Her company, this is who she is, yada, yada, yada. The first few sentences here are just her talking about herself. Don't waste time. This is a big time waste. It's a big turnoff for your client. And this is one of the biggest mistakes most of us are making, is it is all about Cindy at this point. It is not all about the prospect. This is what earns the delete key, okay? However, if you look here at this last sentence in the second paragraph, on average, we recover 38% of all equipment assigned to us in the first 15 days. That really stopped me. I hit reply when I saw this, and Cindy emailed me this. I said, Cindy, I got to know, is this your thing? Is this your nugget? Is this the one thing that you do that, you know, your prospects and your customers want to do more than anything else that your competitors can't do? And she said, yeah, this is our thing. We recover 38% of all equipment assigned to us in the first 15 days. It's unheard of, but we actually do it. So I said, you know what, Cindy, that stays. That's what we want to amplify. That is what the customer wants to talk about, okay? Continuing here, I would like to send you a copy of our slide deck to see if you think we might be a good fit to assist you with customer retention. Okay, she's pitching at this point. She's like, I want you to look at the slide deck. I want to, see if I can be a good vendor to you. Is there a business email that you would be willing to share so that I might send you the information? This is just kind of wishy-washy. I'm not sure which email I should send it to. It's just wasting time, wasting precious time. It makes Cindy look like she's not very confident. So again, very common mistakes here. This is another really common one. If this is something that you are not interested in, or if I should be reaching out to another party in your organization, please let me know. Please don't say that out loud. Don't type it. If this is something you are not interested in, don't even plant that in their head. please, if they're not interested in it, it will earn the delete key so quickly, right? So don't say that out loud, and please don't ask for the referral to somebody else. Again, it's very common. People argue this with me all the time. The purpose of your first touch email shouldn't be to get referred. It shows that you didn't do your homework, and it shows that you're uncertain, and it also is asking the other side to do work for you, to refer you. Here's the biggest point here. If your email is really, really good and written properly, the person who receives it, who isn't the decision maker, will immediately they'll feel the urge to forward it onto the person who does, to look like a hero, if your email is written well enough, which is what I'm about to show you. Okay? So I do like the way that Cindy closes here by mentioning Brad's name again. That's really nice. Makes it feel like it's not a template, even if it is. Okay? So here's what we did for Cindy. We rewrote her subject line, let's decide, faster recovery. Okay? Let's decide, it's very decision-oriented. Email is very decision-oriented. And so our executives, chief executives, they're very decision-oriented. Faster recovery, it's kind of vague, but yet it's familiar enough to make them wonder, recovery of what? Recovery of equipment. Wonder what she's talking about. So the job of the subject line is to get you open, to create curiosity, to be a little bit vague, yet a little bit familiar. Okay? So here we are with her nugget. Are you recovering 38% of your equipment in the first 2 weeks, Brad? We just clobber her prospect with what they want to hear right out of the gate. It's all about the prospect. Are you recovering 38% of your equipment in the first 2 weeks? The odds are no, he's not. Recovery is vital to your success and that of your company. What if you could hit that number or better it without increasing your recovery expense, all while cutting spending on recovering lost equipment? This is nothing but what the client wants to hear. It is nothing but pushing their buttons and getting them curious, all right, about what it is. That's the piece here. We want them to become curious about this. Here is the next sentence. We use an unusual but effective approach with her clients, Comcast and Charter Communications. Okay? Unusual is a trigger word. We use an unusual but effective approach. So what this does is it makes the client go, well, what's so unusual about it? I wonder what's so unusual. I like the fact that it's effective, but what's so unusual about it? I like that Comcast and Charter Communications, these big companies, are using it. Maybe I better look into that. Right? Is this interesting enough to warrant further conversation? That's what this is about. Ask them for what you want. You want a decision. Is this interesting enough to have a conversation? Let me know what you decide. And it can be an email conversation. It can be a phone conversation. Brad is in total control. Ask him for the decision. Okay? Do you see how we totally, we're very specific. We're hyper-focused on the prospect and not on talking about Cindy and about her company. Okay, so I want you guys to do the same. Get to the point immediately. Just some quick takeaway tips for you because we're out of time. Get to the point immediately. Don't waste any time. Don't introduce yourself. None of that stuff. Get to the point immediately. Your prospect is on a mobile device in most cases reading these things. They don't have time to waste. They are deleting. They are deleting and deleting and deleting, okay? Get to the point. Make it exclusively about them. Do not talk about yourself at all. Say something new and useful, okay? If at all possible, say something extremely new that they haven't heard of and extremely useful. And most of all, this whole approach is all about attracting. Think of it like going on a date. You don't want to say too much too fast. You want to have a sense of allure. You want to have the other side be a little bit curious about your unusual but effective approach, right? You don't want to say too much about what that approach is. You want to talk about what the approach can accomplish, but not too much about what it is, okay? So think in terms of process. This is a process. And this process, by the way, applies to all social media and all digital communications. Earning your prospects' attention, but in a way that draws them, that sparks their curiosity, that leaves them wanting a little bit more. And because of that, craving or maybe even a sense of worry, this feeling provokes them to respond immediately without hesitation. Then, and only then, you can work on connecting that curiosity that you just created to what you sell. and connecting it in a way that is very direct, very filled with integrity, and most importantly, in a way that you're going to enjoy, because your customers will be hitting reply and asking you the questions that you want them to ask you, the questions that you have the answers to, right? Okay, so are you ready to get started? Because knowing what I just explained is worthless. You've got to take action on it, and I know you're all about action because you've been here for the last few minutes, and I know you don't have time to waste, but you will have wasted our time together if you don't take the next step. So that's why I'm going to make it really easy for you to take that step, okay? I want you to have a handful of my best subject line and email copy formulas. I have a whole book of them that I sell in my paid training, but I want you to have 7 of my best templates, okay? I'll send you 7 templates in 7 days. Basically, I've spent years studying the most effective subject lines and email copywriting techniques so you don't have to. And to be honest, last year my clients took my templates and created even more effective versions of them, so I'm going to include a few of those as well, okay, since they work so well for me and my clients. So if you liked what you saw today, go to jeffmolander.com/email and get your 7 free, effective, proven templates, okay? Now, will each one of these templates work for you? No. Probably not, but I'm confident that a few of them will, okay? And I'd like to hear from you. I'd like you to put them to work for you as soon as you get them. Hit reply, let me know how it's going, okay? All the best to you, and see you next time.